The presenting sponsor of Real VC is iGuide. Fast and accurate 3D tours. Find out more information at upmarket.media/iGuide. Coming to you from the Upmarket studio in beautiful San Buenaventura, California, this is Real VC, a podcast all about Ventura County real estate. My name is Reed Fish. I'm the CEO and a co-founder of Upmarket Media, and Katie Connolly, Realtor of the Year 2024.
Extraordinaire.
2022.
2022. Oh,
Yeah.
it's been, we got to get another one in this for you. We got to,
What year
I
we
want to
in?
see you for 2026 as Realtor of the Year again.
I
Defend
think
your
there's
title.
term limits.
Spread the word.
Term limits. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah. So of Coldwell Banker Realty,
Right here in Ventura County, of course.
That's of course you're in Ventura. Why would you be co-hosting the show if you weren't Ventura County? That would be a nightmare.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we have another very special guest today, too.
Well, we have a producer, Molly Peart here.
We
Yeah,
do
of
have
course.
producer Molly. I got ahead of myself.
Yeah, you
Thanks.
did get ahead of yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do it because I have some flair here.
Okay, you do.
Yeah. Nate Bonsignore of Suncoast Real Estate downtown Ventura.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Hello, Reed. Hello, Katie.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. So you're you're a boomerang, right?
A boomerang.
So what
Not
we
a
mean by-
boomer.
a boomer. Yeah. No.
boomerang.
No.
Imagine
no.
what must I've had done in order to be a boomer and still look like this.
Well, I mean. Millennial.
Millennial. I will out myself as a millennial.
You're a looks-maxing boomer is what you are. Yeah.
I am not Australian, but yes,
Right.
I
so
am
boomerang.
from.
So you grew up here and then you left.
Uh-huh.
You left the state. Actually, you went to DC, I believe.
Washington, D.C.,
and
all the way across.
And now you're back. And so I think that kind of story is, I think, one that mimics a lot of people in this county. And it really ties into what we've been talking a lot about on the show is affordability and how is the younger generation going to be able to afford in this area. So can I talk about your experience a little bit of, I don't need like the big story of why did you leave? What were you looking for? But like I'm assuming you went off to college and,
Yes.
and maybe had some career or something,
Uh-huh.
but then you decided to come back. What was why did that play into it? And what were the challenges for you in that transition?
Great question, Reed. I
Oh,
think
thanks, Nate.
you don't know what you have until you've left. So
Right.
like that is kind of the premise of, you grow up in Ventura County, and you think, you need a little bit something more. And I was chasing movement and Washington, D.C., and being in that was what I felt was missing here. And I think what you find and what you experience when you leave Ventura County is that the world is big and there are lots of different careers that you can find yourself in. I was working in tech, in commercial operations. I found myself in small little companies that got bought by bigger ones. And you have to transition through all of the different stakeholders, for lack of a better word. And I think you have to play that middleman during that period. After about 10, 12 years of doing that and going through that same cycle, which was like getting bought by a larger company and helping them integrate in, I realized
I have no idea how that works. No idea how that works.
Oh,
Came
you
out of
don't,
that
Katie?
situation.
Oh, come on, yeah. How many brokers can we check off? I realized that there was I was good at growing things, I was good at destroying things, but I wanted to do that a little bit for myself. And my father has been in real estate for 37 years. He started at RE/MAX. He has gone the journey of independent brokerage, and now he's a broker owner. And I saw him, and I see that, some might argue he's semi-retired. And I was wondering, what is he going to do with this? And I think that question and those experiences kind of pulling together, I was spending time back in Ventura because of COVID, 3-6 months out of the year. And I was asking myself, why are you so apprehensive about coming back home? And I think that stigma is something that a lot of people face when they leave. And they have to grapple with, what do I have if I go back home?
Right.
Friends, family, for better or for worse.
Right.
And how do you reintegrate into something that felt
Right. Well, and I think,
home?
and imagine a lot of people leave here because it feels small. right? And so you want to go somewhere where there's more opportunity. And I think, a lot of people actually move here because, this seems like the land of opportunity. But you grow up here, and it's like sometimes you just need to spread your wings and do something different. And then I always feel like if I moved back home to my small town where I grew up in, it would be somehow an admission of defeat.
Ooh, and so spot on.
Yeah.
And
even when it's not, even when it's like, no, actually, I like it here, or I have friends here, or I have a spouse here, whatever it is. Did you struggle with that? And how does that affect what you did and how you can even just like walk around town with your head held high,
Yes. I had a very close friend that I went to elementary, middle school, high school with, and she was in real estate. She wasn't practicing as much, but we were at Simone's Cafe over here off of Kimball. And she was like, you come back all the time. Have you ever thought about just getting into real estate? And for me, I was like, my first job was helping like pick up escrow checks and drop them off here. Like my dad gave me a job so I could get my gas paid for. Like right. I was like, I can't be going all the way back 15 plus right. years right. to like that first job. But I think that is an ego thing. And being able to acknowledge that and realize like, okay, I do miss it here. What is not to miss? And maybe growing something might be hard because growing up here, you don't see as many role models of like consulting and small startups and this, that. Like you've got some blue collar workers and some sprinkled small business owners that are here. So I think it's hard to find like, oh, what is my path from high schooler in Boyna to how do I get a 6-figure plus job and find someone who has similar values and that like we can basically be able to afford to stay here? Like there's so many check boxes that need to happen. And when you get into that like linear path of, did I do this yet? Did I do that yet? It becomes a question of like, have I failed? And I think that you have to just try and like drop the linearity of that and be like, this is where my path has kind of brought me, and I need to just explore what coming back home and kind of imagining myself and like, how do you do that? And that was the question I asked myself for the first 6-8 months before I started getting involved at our realtor association, like Ventura County Coastal Association of Realtors. I started meeting folks like Katie. I started meeting folks who were involved in different committees, different communities, like within Ventura County. And I think that helped get a little bit of a fresh air, like, oh, wow, there's lots of people who are coming back here. And
yeah. And there's got to be a stigma too of following in our parents' path, right? Like so many of us are like, I wanted to be the exact opposite of both my parents, and then now I'm like, well, I mean, they don't do real estate, but there's definitely like things in life that, and then now, I mean, I have a 17-year-old and she's like, I'll never get my real estate license. I'm like, you just watch.
You're like, don't leave for college. Watch. Go off and experience something, but like, come back here. You'll see.
Yeah.
Yes, I work with my father, and I think growing up and seeing like what a realtor's life is, and like you're a business owner, you are doing the entire life cycle. Like, how are you generating leads? How are you going through a transaction properly? How do you make sure you're leaving a good experience so that way they refer you out? And like, I never thought about it that way. I was like, he's always on the phone. Doesn't matter what time of day. Like he's sending me places where I don't even know, telling me I have to stay on the phone with him just in case. Like
I do that with my teenager too. Yeah.
So that has grown and evolved. And I think as all high schoolers, you're like, no. But as you evolve, you figure out they had a thing or two right. And my friends joke that if they could, be someone when they grow up, it's my dad, because somehow
I was just going to say, he seems like a pretty happy dude.
He does.
He's doing it right.
He does.
Yeah.
He says it's because he has no expectations in life.
He could be my life coach.
I'm like, how do I learn that?
I love that.
Yeah. Well, but it also speaks to, something you said, piqued my interest. You're like, oh, how do I get a 6-figure job here?
Yes.
Right. And because we're lacking those jobs, right? I mean, it does. There must be, but I feel like we have to make our own way here because there's not. And I think you referenced, I think before we were shooting that there's no university system here. There's no there's just not a clear path in Ventura County. You almost have to leave if you want to be in the professional class. Like you almost have to leave, right? And but obviously there's some great companies here. There's Patagonia, and the
Trade Desk.
Yeah.
You've got Procore up the way, Sonos. There is corporations tech that is evolving here. Like Curry is right around the corner.
Yeah.
I never expected to see that in Ventura. So I think that also shows that those boomerangs that are coming back, they are realizing that actually this is a undervalued area to start a business, to help a community, to employ folks. I think we were at a meeting recently where someone who was running for lieutenant governor was talking about ports, harbors, and higher education, which is community college for us here in Ventura, how those are really like the undertapped levers of how we create more opportunities, pathways to essentially keep folks here, prevent them from leaving, so that way when they come back, they are not looking at having to put down $100K on a home to try and just decrease their mortgage to something that's livable.
Right. Well, 300K actually as the down payment.
Depends where you're looking.
Oh God, spoken like a realtor.
But the port of Hueneme it's kind of like a hidden gem when it comes to jobs and stuff down. And they do some amazing stuff down. I highly recommend anyone going on the port tour. It's free. The tour of the port of Hueneme. They take you out on a tugboat. It's amazing.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Okay.
But I think I heard recently too about some homebuyer programs, and don't quote me, I'll have to look into it more with my other professionals. But that there's trade schools and then getting certified in a trade, and then that'll help. There's down payment programs that are specific to people that are going into trades, which is cool because
that's great. Yeah.
We need trade workers.
Well, and with the rise of AI, Katie, all the trades could be
like
even more valuable. No, but I'm serious.
Yeah.
I mean, I say it jokingly, but AI is not going to replace the plumber. I mean, right? So, there's that. But there's also, we say there's no higher education. There's CSU Channel Islands, right?
There is.
As well. But how many even students are there? I don't even know. Yeah.
I think it's also about them being able to know, all right, if I invest in these programs, how will I then be able to sell it to students that you're going to find a job, you could be able to stay, and you'll hopefully be able to start to plant some roots here in Ventura as well. I mean, you've got organizations like the Chamber of Commerce, like the West Ventura County, Business Alliance, and you do see some of those connections and opportunities coming together. Whether my generation is taking that and investing in it, I question. I tend to see folks who have been in the industry 10, 15, 30 years plus as being plugged in there. So I wonder if that is a little bit of a missing link as well.
Well, what about YPN, right? With the Young Professionals Network?
Thank you, Reed. Plugging it, YPN.
Where you're involved in YPN? Or you
He's part the chair.
The chair.
Yes.
The
okay,
YPN
well, tell me about
chair.
that. And is that just for real estate professionals? Or
it is.
Okay.
It is associated to the National Association of Realtors, or is it California Association specific?
Both
of them.
Okay, you're the chair. You should know.
We can always learn. Part of being in YPN is you are young in your career, not young in age.
Right.
So YPN is kind of that entry path for new members, whether they're realtors or they're affiliates. So your lenders, your escrow, all of that. And they invest in 4 pillars. So the first pillar is real estate industry, duh. Next is peers. So that's how we kind of all come together, and we either share our war stories or our triumphs. The community. So I think that is also where look around and realtors pop up in all different places of the community because they need that. How are they finding leads before social media and print? It was in sports. It was at church. It was at school.
Yeah.
And then also just the Realtor Association at the state, national, and local level. So those 4 areas is where YPN tries to say, all right, we'll come together. We'll go do a members meetup at the new hotel bar that just opened up. So that way we can get people out, we can get people meeting, and we try and invite experienced members as well to come together. We are also hosting a topic for a summit, which is happening May 14th. So
Right.
I'm sure you've heard all about it.
Yeah. This episode will be out before then. Yeah. So, yes,
Okay, all right,
absolutely.
fantastic.
No, but you can plug it because I think that real estate summit is coming up, and so I think
Yes.
it is worth talking about because we're hoping like hundreds of realtors are going to show up to this, right?
think
They only do it every 2 years,
Yes.
right? So
Yeah,
they
exactly.
do build a little bit of like, oh, it was great 2 years ago. Don't miss out on it this year.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And don't miss
absolutely.
out on it.
Yeah, for sure. Do not miss
I
out.
need to buy
on
my
it.
ticket. That's
We
gonna
will be
be-
having a panel there. So we're bringing together 4 different realtors from different backgrounds, generations, how long they've been in the business. And we're trying to kind of do it as like, what is a multi-generational playbook? Like you hear these buzzwords of like intergenerational, multi-generational. How is
right.
that helping to solve? So our spin on that is like, okay, if you are a realtor now and you are working with 2 different generations of clients, or perhaps they're going through a divorce, like how are you tapping into all of the different experiences, tactics, strategies that folks have? And that's what we're hoping to share and educate people on there.
Well, I mean, being a realtor, real estate's a great career opportunity to really build wealth too, right? Like, so when we talk about jobs, and I know, Reed, you're never going to be a realtor, but
I will not.
But
It's good to know. It's good to be authentic, Reed.
Yeah,
In-
well,
in Ventura County,
that's
it's-
fine. Yeah,
I
but
mean,
I have a business that is a vendor to realtors, so
Yeah.
Yes.
I have I have skin in the game.
You do.
Yeah.
And now I lost my train of thought.
Oh, sorry,
It's okay.
but you saying I'm never going to be a realtor, but realtors
It's a
have
way to
path
build
wealth.
wealth.
Yeah,
It really
Way
is.
to build wealth.
Yeah. So that's a good thing that YPN does is, for young professionals getting into the business on whatever angle. I think Molly should be the next YPN member. Just putting it out there for
she's
you,
not a
Molly.
realtor.
Let's go.
You could be an
Affiliate.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we need to affiliate.
YPN.
Yeah.
Right now, the committee is 90% affiliate, 2% like 10% realtors.
Sure, of course.
So realtors, come on, show up.
Yeah, I mean that as an affiliate for real estate stuff, that can be a little bit frustrating because you are affiliate and you go to these functions and then it's like half affiliates and then like half the exact same realtors that you see at every single function and that you really don't need to, great, there are clients and that's also good to see current clients already, to kind of keep those relationships going. But, we want some fresh blood in there.
I think that speaks to just the changing of like professionals. I encounter this gap of experience, having my license almost 2 years now. Like I'm experiencing people who have had their license for 10, 15 years plus, 20, 30. Around events, I'm not really seeing folks who are 5 years and under as much.
Right.
And I think
Right.
that is also where, as YPN, I look at it, I'm like, is this just a state of being, or is this like an opportunity to just bring innovation? Like, Katie, why was YPN first started in Ventura? You were part of the founding class, yes? Like
Yeah,
you,
I mean,
BJ Ward, Jim, Vanessa.
I think whenever the trajectory of like what you're talking about is we can kind of predict it, right? Like you get into the business, you have no idea what you're doing. So you you go to all the mixers, you
Mass
join all the clubs,
exposure.
and then you get busy or you quit, one of the two.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Mostly
that's where
quit.
that,
Mostly
that's
quit.
where-
I mean,
Yeah.
right. The
that's
three-year
where
drop
that
off is huge.
Gap is, and then you realize like, hey, I don't want to hit burnout. I need to get re-involved, and then that's where we see that's kind of the
Life cycle, yeah.
life cycle that I've seen.
I feel like with my generation though, pushing like real estate when I was at least in high school, like at least for my professors, teachers, they like didn't want to push that on us. And it was weird because they're like, you have to go to a 4-year, you have to go to a 4-year. And then I see some of my friends or friends of friends that have come back to Ventura County with their degree that they didn't really know what they were going to college for. And they're like, LOL, I want to become a realtor now. And so, but there are few of them, but then they, shadow these, realtors that have been there for
Yes.
20, 30 years. And they get immersed in the industry, and now, they're building relationships and doing very well. But like I said, it's kind of a few. Now, though, in high school, they're like, I'm really interested in real estate because I can't afford to go to college, or my parents won't help me.
It's very inexpensive to get your real estate license. One of my
the bar is low, and that's
Low barrier of entry.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
and that's
$1,000
and I think,
bucks.
and that gets to like, you know, sometimes our frustration in dealing with, you know, a lot of, you know, some clients and stuff is you're like, oh, they don't really know what they're doing. And, you know, and so we find that we have to like handhold a bit, you know, with some of these greener realtors, which is fine. In any industry, there's going to be, you know, there's a learning curve, right?
Yes.
And so, and I don't think, you know, to pass the real estate exam, they're not talking about real estate media and how you prepare a house for, you know, they're talking about all the stuff that, you know, all the legal stuff you have to do, you know, it's not really about marketing. Right. And so, you know, when we exist on that plane, you know, the education has to come from us, or it has to come from the brokerages that the realtors are joining.
Well, it only takes one client to be like, why did you leave my plunger in that bathroom picture for you to realize that you now remove the plunger?
You learn by
photographer's
pain.
there.
You learn by pain, and you learn by failure. I think,
Right.
especially in real estate.
Who doesn't love a good 3D tour? I mean, I know I love a good 3D tour. So when you are marketing a property, one of the things that you can do to give buyers like a really fantastic look about how the property actually looks and what the floor plan actually is a 3D tour. And at Upmarket Media, we are using iGuide because it is accurate and it's a great user interface for your clients. And you can even produce floor plans and site plans from that. So if you have a property that you want to get a sense of how that whole property interacts with each other, iGuide is the way to go. And it is platform agnostic. It will show up on Zillow. It will show up on homes.com. It will show up anywhere that people are finding your listings, which not every 3D tour can these days, like Matterport. So anyway, go to upmarket.media/iGuide. That's www.upmarket.media/iGuide.
As like I've been in my first 2 years, I've been entrusted to work on 10 or so transactions, and they've been like 80-20 listing versus buying. And that's been as a result of, you know, my father having dedicated a lot there.
Right.
When I look at what it takes for new realtors who might not be plugged in, who might not have that kind of golden handover scenario occurring, that's when it gets scary in my mind. Like I wouldn't come back and I wouldn't do real estate. I would invest in another part of Ventura's ecosystem and opportunity, because like it is vast. And that is even sometimes how I find myself looking now. I'm like, real estate is a vehicle for wealth growth experiences, like knowing a city, but is it often the end game of all realtors to be realtors forever?
Interesting. I mean, I feel like most of the ones I know, that feels like they're in it. And they're, you know, and because what happens is it does feel like it's a compounding thing. And your experience to me is like a testament to that, because your dad's been working it for whatever, 30 years, and he's got this pipeline.
Yeah.
And so it's those agents who have put in the work, put in all the dedication over the years, where all of the people they sold houses to are now returning to sell houses as, you know, as you go. And then he can hand it right off to you. So it's like, that makes sense. And I think that's the goal for a lot of people, right? And so it's like I feel like a lot of people don't have that exit strategy, because they see it as a career, right? And you know, what else are they going to do? Because now they're trained as a realtor, but if they didn't go to college, they don't have those skills that are marketable skills. I mean, I don't know. I'm not even necessarily a believer in college, so I'm not like saying you can't.
There seem to be a lot of politicians that spring up from real estate.
Yeah. I was going to say a lot of realtors not have like a side hustle, but we have like other things that we do. So a lot of people
a lot of realtors have side hustles.
You need to in the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
I think like that component of investing in community as part of like your framework of like, how do I be a successful realtor?
I thought it was because we have ADHD and we can't sit still for that long. That's a lot of it.
Let me just spark up, and then someone else please take this and move it to the next step.
I like make bracelets on the side. I'm like, I just want to make bracelets. Yeah.
I'm a yoga teacher as well. I teach at Core Power Yoga.
Nice plug.
Right. Thank you. Exactly. Yeah. And I think that is something that I try to think is like, who is my audience? How can I be authentic to myself in connecting with folks that, you know, are practicing? Like, it's an easy kind of entry path. So I think realtors do need to think about like, where are their leads, for lack of a better word, coming from? And how can you align that with something you enjoy doing and also is giving back to?
Yeah, I mean, I always think of it as when I look at it from a realtor perspective, it's something about it when you're like, you got to get out there and form your sphere, and then you're like, well, okay, so are these activities because you just want to get clients? Or, I feel like you should really do that with something you would be doing anyway.
Yes.
And I think it can motivate you. Maybe you're like, oh, I really like softball, but I don't know if I want to join a league. But you're like, well, actually, there'd be a lot of clients there. So it can maybe be that last little nudge to get you to do something that you really would want to do anyway. But I think if you're just like, I fucking hate softball.
Don't do it.
And you go and join a softball league to get clients, it's not going to work.
Correct.
Well, I mean, we haven't said authenticity in a couple of episodes, but people see through that. You know what I mean? Like people can gauge authenticity pretty quickly, and they know what people's motivation is to do what they do.
Because if you join that team and you don't care about it, you're just going to start talking about real estate on that first game.
You're going to be like, they're going to put you as the catcher.
Did you see that house over there? What do you think it's worth?
You're going to be the catcher. But back to talking about being a boomerang. I feel like Washington, D.C. is expensive, right? Like it's not like you moved to Tennessee and bought 3 houses and became a real estate investor and you're like loving the nice flat green space. Like D.C. is more expensive than here.
Yes.
So it's not maybe easier to come back, but like a little more
when I'm thinking
easy.
about my goal of buying and owning a place, doing that in DC felt even more of like a stretch. And that is when you have good jobs. You're usually coupled up in some capacity, but still median home there is 1.2, 1.3, and it's very condensed. And you got to commit there. I think my sign of like DC is not the place for you is I didn't buy there. I knew like if I'm going to put this much of myself into a city, I need to be certain, and I was not certain about DC. And I left in 2024.
Yeah.
So coming back here, I was like, all right, it's expensive. However, I know this, and the value and the appreciation that we also experience in Ventura County is unique. And if you love it, and you're paying for it. And if not, then eventually you might be tempted to leave.
Yeah, and the lifestyle. I mean, on the East Coast in those big cities, we see people working those 80-hour weeks. And, it's just that grind mentality. Here, I hit more traffic on the freeway here at 3 o'clock than I do at 5 or 6 o'clock. And like you see people at the beach watching the sunset. And it's just a nice way of life. Like I think we really have it figured out here. Maybe not you.
I think like
I think Reed doesn't have a poker face.
Well, do you spend much time on the East Coast?
I have. I lived in New York for a year, and it's also. But I feel like people have that vision of this, but it's like, well, there's still people grinding. I mean, I feel like, own a real estate media business and tell me how not grindy it is.
Yeah.
You do not look as tan as I expected.
You should. Exactly. And I feel like as realtors, you guys should know. I mean, you're grinding as hard as anybody. And so it is, obviously there are those people who can't, shit, man, I live in Ojai. It's like, talk about like, how is this coffee shop full at 11 a.m. on a Tuesday? And I know all of the kids of these people are in private school. So you're like, how, and then I'm like, well, what am I doing here at 11 a.m. on a Tuesday when I have a kid in private school?
I've made it too.
So exactly. Exactly.
I'm winning.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I mean, I think there is the no matter what though, even if you're grinding, you can step out, and if the beach is your thing, you can just go, relax on the beach for a minute and just get some.
We don't have to jump on a flight in order to experience a little bit of a disconnect if we want to bring ourselves out there. Like it's in front of us.
Right. No, exactly.
And I think the comparable, to jump in, I'm sorry, but with Washington, D.C. and having a lot of my college friends, they all, I feel like, are either in the West Coast or the South because job opportunity, affordability, and then, I was unique. I came back and it took me a couple months to find something. Thanks, Reed, for giving me the job.
Boomerang.
You're welcome.
Yes. And I see though that I have a friend in Washington, D.C. right now, and she's from San Diego, texts me and she's like, holy crap, I need a tan. Like she is as pale as ever.
I lost melanin for sure.
But she's like, I have to see her because the money right now is too good and I can't find something back here. So, but with, evolving job opportunity, I think that's going to be a way for at least Gen Z who are from here to be able to come back.
Like my example is real estate specific. If my family had been in agriculture and farming, if they had been in the ports, I think that same appeal would be there. So Ventura is also a place where like you are primarily a small business. You are individuals, you have less than maybe 15 to 20 employees. Like as we see this shift of, do I want to work as hard? I think that is where boomerangs have an opportunity to come back around with their education, their experience, their broader view.
Their skill at writing AI prompts.
Skill at writing AI prompts. And be able to help ease business owners' mind when they think about what's my next chapter and am I willing to give this up and mentor someone to take my business over, or am I just looking for an exit path? And I think it kind of boomerangs back to that. Like, what is your goal as a small business owner? And then are you finding young people in the next generation who are hungry, looking for a job that actually gives them purpose? And how can I'm going to respect what you've built, but I also would like to take it a little bit further or reconnect back with the community in ways that sometimes older professionals, like they have become isolated and stuck in their ways because it served them, but is it serving everyone right now?
Yeah. I mean, we've been, we really just hired like 4, what I would call kids who are all boomerangs.
You're expanding. Right? You need that, right?
Yeah. And they're all boomerangs. And it's great because I think what it is even just leaving for college just shows me that it's like, okay, you have some sort of ambition, right? And I know we have one like Tessa. I don't think you went too far, and I know you're not on mic, but you did leave, right? You were in LA, and it was like that shows me something, right? It's like like if you just kind of stay here and fart around, it's a little like you can still be ambitious. And I'm not talking shit about you, Katie, but
I left.
You did. Okay, that's right. Okay,
so I lived in Las Vegas for a year for college,
that's right.
And then I lived in Los Angeles.
Okay,
so
perfect.
I moved back to just like almost everyone. I moved back to the suburbs when I had a baby.
Yeah, right.
And now, I mean, now you couldn't pay me to go wait to find a parking space at Trader Joe's in West LA.
But to pick up pretzels.
The lines.
But I think having these young people come and work for us who have come back, and they're actually like, they have skills, they have life experiences that they want to be able to use, but again, the opportunities aren't here. So I feel like we're getting like maybe overqualified people who want to work for us for not as much money as I want to pay them and, all the stuff. But it's like, that's what I want though. I want these people who have shown the ambition to leave. And if they come back, it's either, well, maybe it didn't work out for them where they went, or they just are like, no, I want to be back where I grew up. I like it here.
It's like that grass isn't always greener.
Sure.
One-liner.
The folks who stayed and who did make the choice and had the ability to buy have now they have wealth for the first time, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of equity in an asset that they've got. And it is a little like, what do you do with it at that point? Do you just try and pay it off as quickly as possible? Do you try and take that level up? Do you buy another small home that then becomes part of like your retirement plan? Like folks who didn't leave and were able to do that, they should be studied.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I was thinking, I really don't want it to sound like I was throwing shade on anyone who stayed, because that's certainly a path. And you can have ambition, you can have all those things. But I think it's just, if you're just looking in the overall aggregate, where you're like, oh, well, they went and did this, they went and did that. That's something that, it's like, I was like, oh, okay, well, and maybe it just resonates more with what my life experience has been, where I left my small town, but I never boomeranged back,
You didn't,
so,
no.
You just found an even better small town.
Yeah.
Was their Main Street closed as well?
That's a whole other episode,
they just took it down from 4 lanes to 2, though. So yeah, which everyone got pissed about. So
change is hard. Change is hard to accept.
Change is hard, and my business advisor was just telling me this. We were talking about some changes that have been coming for our business, and some maybe things we're rolling out. And he's like, these are all good things, but you got to remember, change is hard even when it's good. It is always hard. And so I think, you know,
And change feels like it's happening like exponentially these days.
yeah, absolutely. And
Like
and
it's
we
constant.
it feels like we have we've never had control, but it feels right now like there's no control over anything. I don't, you know, it just feels, I think everything just feels so unsteady.
Yeah.
And
Compacted.
Yeah.
Our scope is like so wide. The aperture is like way too big nowadays. And I think that is like also like my yoga like sense coming in where I'm like, you really can't control all of that. And that chaos is exhausting and it's draining. And it used to feel like, oh, this doesn't impact me. I can move along my day, and until something like really is in my face impacting me, like that's unacceptable nowadays. And it's like a way of numbing yourself, which I don't know. It doesn't end well.
Yeah, no, it's like there's a lot of stuff that's impacting us. With stuff we have no control over that impacts us in profound ways. So
I respect the people who like speak up on it and like are able to have a dialogue very openly and just like, this is a thought experiment. Let's just leave it there. Like don't allow yourself to be too attached to it. And the
Just
outcome.
to hear it.
Just to hear it, like connect in that way. I hope we still can.
yeah.
There
Well, we'll
is
see.
so many things going on at once. I mean, we can be having a conversation and, you know, be on our phones while listening to a podcast. You know, you could just do like 5 things at once. And
You can't really, because then you're not really having a conversation.
true.
with somebody.
Agree.
So anyway,
And
But I think that's why things.
how realtors almost fall off sometimes. They have too many things going on.
absolutely.
tabs
So-
open.
Too many tabs.
Yeah, so it's wonderful that we're able to actually sit here. We don't have our phones are all on silent, and so we don't,
Pen and
this is
paper,
great.
old school.
Yeah, we have this conversation, and so thank you, Nate, for being here. We really appreciate it. Katie, thank you, Tessa and Molly, of course, always, and thank you to everyone who's watching, listening. Oh, by the way, Nate, where we find you? Instagram, TikTok. What are you doing?
No TikTok. I refuse.
yeah, that's
Instagram, you can find me, and then on the streets
You
as
can
well.
find
I have a little dog.
What is your
Just
handle?
Nate Bonsignore. It's
Okay.
not, if there are too many of those, I have a problem.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go out and get them.
Yeah, and then we see you with a little dog walking
Yes,
around.
I got a
Rocky.
4-legged child, Rocco,
Okay.
my French
Rocco,
bulldog.
yes.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. That must be a site. Okay. And then Katie Connolly, Realtor on Instagram, upmarket.media, Reedfish LYSM for my personal. And thank you, everyone. Yeah, thank you for watching, listening. Thank you, iGuide, and appreciate it.
Thank you
Great.
for
Be
having
back
me.
next week.
Yeah.
See you next
Back
time.
next week.
Real VC is a production of Upmarket Media. This episode was produced by Molly Peart and edited by Tessa Nelson. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.